Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to one of the most embarrassing football games I have ever seen. I mean, this one is just truly ridiculous. Let's just jump straight into it. You'll know exactly why it was embarrassing. The final score was 7-3. Mississippi State actually jumps up to 4-3 in their overall, but they actually win another conference game. So this team has exceeded my expectations. But man, oh man, what has happened to Arkansas? This is ridiculous. This was at Arkansas. And just looking at the stats, I mean, it's kind of just it doesn't really seem like it should be this score, but I can tell you why Arkansas didn't get any more points. So Mississippi State offensively, they were horrible. They are always horrible on the offense. If anything, they have a defense, and that's known. They had 10 first downs. They were 1 for 10 on third down efficiency, but big takeaway, they were 0 for 0 on fourth down efficiency. They didn't go for one fourth down. They stayed composed, and they kept playing conservative. They had 205 total yards, 85 passing, 120 rushing. They had 49 yards and 8 penalties, and they threw a pick. So with those stats, it's like, I mean, 7 points is little, but at least understandable. Like the 1 for 10 on third down efficiency, and I guess 49 yards of penalties, that could be reasonable. How does Arkansas only have 3 points of field goal, which, keep in mind, was scored with 12 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first quarter? They went unanswered the rest of the game. They didn't do anything else. Arkansas, they had 12 first downs, and they were 5 for 17 on third down efficiency. Much better than Mississippi State, but they did not stay composed. They were 1 for 4 on fourth down efficiency, so it only worked 1 out of 4 times. That's 3 possessions given to Mississippi State. They had 200 total yards of offense, just 5 less than Mississippi State. 97 through the air and 103 on the ground. And then they only had 60 yards of penalties in 5 penalties. They had 2 turnovers, a pick and a fumble. How do they only have 3 points? Though I didn't watch this game personally, but all I could see from this is this was just an awful game by both teams. Both horrible offensive game. This looked like Iowa football. I mean, this literally looked like San Jose State versus Iowa. I mean, truly ridiculous, unbelievable. If I'm an Arkansas fan, I'm never turning on another game of Arkansas football. I'm finding a new team. And that's a lot coming from an Arizona State football team who got shut out on their own home field and they had 8 turnovers. That's a lot. I'd much rather see ASU perform how they did against Fresno State than how Arkansas did against Mississippi State today. Because all Arkansas had to do was get in the end zone once in Mississippi State. And all of a sudden they have the lead on Mississippi State. They couldn't do that for 3 quarters, almost 4. They literally scored in the first 3 minutes and 30 seconds of the game. And silence. KJ Jefferson, let's see how he played. He was 19 for 31, 97 yards, and a pick. The quarterback for Mississippi State, who looks to be more lenient on running the ball, was 8 for 12, 85 yards, and a touchdown, but a pick. But he also ran for 60 yards and 11 carries. Mississippi State quarterback performed better than KJ Jefferson on both units. Yes, he had less yards than KJ Jefferson, but only by 12, and he completed 8 of his 12 passes. KJ Jefferson completed 19 of his 31. For the Mississippi State quarterback to only be throwing 12 yards less in 8 passes versus KJ Jefferson's 19. I mean, come on. This guy's ridiculous. I remember people were giving this guy Heisman talk at the beginning of the year. This guy stinks. But what does this mean? What is like the major takeaway from this game? Well, if you remember, Alabama just won by 3 points to Arkansas, 24-21 at Alabama. So it's like, what? And KJ Jefferson performed much better there. He was 14 for 24, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. He performed way better. The major takeaway for this is, yes, obviously, I'm a Pac-12 fan, and this is a lot coming from somebody who dislikes the SEC. But the SEC's heavily overrated this year. I mean, ridiculously overrated. Alabama being number 11 is unreasonable. Tennessee being number 17 is unreasonable. Georgia being number 1 is back to unreasonable. The only teams I feel that are sort of deserving of their ranks are Mississippi or Ole Miss, LSU, and Missouri. Those are the only teams. At least LSU faced tough competition of Florida State, and they're all the way down at number 19. Ole Miss, I mean, they lost one game, and it was to Bama. Yes, that looks bad, but it was on the road at Bama, major rivalry. And Missouri beat Kansas State and killed Kentucky on the road and lost to a bad thrown pick six to LSU. Those are the only 3 teams that I see are deserving of a ring. Maybe in the future, Texas A&M. Those are the only or maybe Kentucky. But in terms of Georgia obviously is deserving a rank. But number 1? No. Sorry, no. There's better teams right now. Especially with what Ohio State just did to Penn State. There's definitely better options than what's their face, Georgia. So yeah, I just wanted to cover this. I don't really know what happened in this game, so if you were watching it and want to let me know, that would be helpful. Because truly, I'm in awe. I don't understand how this bad of a game gets produced by a team that is in Iowa. Let's be real. I thought Arkansas was an offensive team this year. I mean, they lost to BYU 38-31. I thought this was going to be their category, and they sucked. And it's not like Arkansas's got a built defense, because Mississippi State's defense is trash, or offense is trash. Sorry. Mississippi State's offense is horrific. Against U of A, U of A gave them 5 turnovers, and Mississippi State was only able to put up, I think, 17 points in that time. And they scored the touchdown completely on their own. Their offense is horrific. So yeah, I just wanted to cover this because this is just embarrassing. Not a good look for the SEC. And yeah, like and subscribe would help. A comment always helps, and that's all for me. Adios.